Good day, everyone. My name is Abdulhamid Ango, and today I'm going to be discussing about business cycle. So, first, what's business cycle? Business cycle refers to economy-wide fluctuations in production, trade, and general economic activities. From a conceptual perspective, the business cycle is the upward and downward movement of levels of GDP, and it refers to the period of expansions and contractions in the level of economic activities. So expansions and contractions, just like when economic activities start to increase and bloom, and when it starts to like reduce again around a long-term growth trend. So business cycle is like has been identified into having four distinct phases. So we'll explain these phases now using like a business called the normal maintenance. So first, for the expansion stage, normal maintenance is busy and has recently had to turn down jobs because it lacks the capacity to do all the work offered. Homeowners now want to make home repairs and improvements which they had to put off during the sour economy. With the economy improving, others are fixing up their homes to sell. Faced with so much demands, the owner of normal maintenance must decide whether to pay his existing workers overtime, which will increase the cost for each job and reduce profits, or hire additional workers. The competition for qualified construction labor is steep, and he is concerned that he will have to pay more than his usual rate of $12 per hour, or possibly get workers who are not as qualified as his current crew. He is, however, able to charge higher prices for his work because homeowners are experiencing long waits and delay getting bids and jobs completed. The owner purchases a new truck and invests in additional tools in order to keep up with the demand of services. Customers are willing to pay more than usual so they can get their work done. Business is expanding to such an extent that normal maintenance and its suppliers are starting to have troubles obtaining materials such as shins and sidings because the manufacturers have not kept pace with the economic expansion. In general, business is great for normal maintenance, but the expansion brings challenges. So it's just like when the economy is booming and like there's demand for what you are for your service or your production, there's demand for what you have to offer, and demand is so much that I can't even keep up with most with the demand. So like you with that, since with your demand higher than the amount you can supply, the prices of your goods and services will start to increase. You start to charge more, and like for example, now if you are producing a good raw materials, you might not be able to get enough raw materials or like labor to be able to deliver the amount of goods and services that you need. So now we'll move to the peak stage. At the peak of the business cycle, the economy can be said to be overheated. Despite hiring additional workers, the owner and the crews of normal maintenance are working 7 days a week and still unable to keep up with the demand. They can't work any harder or faster. As a result, the crews are exhausted and quality of their work is beginning to decline. Customers leave messages requesting work and services, but the owner is so busy he doesn't return phone calls. Jobs are getting started and completed late as the crew struggle to cover multiple job sites. As a result, customer complaints are on the rise, and the owner is worried about the long-term reputation of the business. Neither the business nor the economy can sustain the level of activity. And despite the fact that normal maintenance is making great money, everyone is ready for things to let up a little. Meaning the economic activity has reached its peak. It's at the top, and like they can't keep up with the pace and everything. So now that's where the contraction stage now comes in. As the economy begins to contract, business begins to slow down for normal maintenance. They find that they are caught up on work and they aren't getting so many phone calls. The owner is able to reduce his labor cost by cutting back on overtime and eliminate working on the weekends. When the phone does ring, homeowners are asking for bids on work, not just placing work orders. Normal maintenance loses out on several jobs because their bids are too high. The company begins to look for new suppliers who can provide them with materials at a cheaper price so they can be more competitive. The building material company starts offering deals and specials to contractors in order to generate sales. In general, competition for work has increased, and some of the businesses that popped up during the expansion are no longer in the market. In the short run, the owner is confident that he has enough work to keep his crew busy, but is concerned that if he don't pick up, he might have to lay off some of the less experienced workers. So at this stage of contraction, when the economic activities has gotten high, it has reached its peak and is like it's gotten too high. People can't keep up with it again. Some those companies or those people present in the market that can't keep up with the pace of the economic activities at that peak level, they will usually fall off the market, and those that are able to stand are those that will be left. And the trial stage, on Monday morning, the crew of normal maintenance show up to work, and the owner has to send them home. There is no work for them. During the week before, they worked only 3 days, and the owner is down to his original crew of 3 employees. Several months ago, he laid off the workers hired during the expansion. Although that was a difficult decision, the owner knows from hard experience that sometimes businesses fail not because their owners make bad decisions, but because they run out of money during recessions, when there isn't enough customers demand to sustain them. Without enough working capital to keep the doors open, some are forced to close down. So basically, that's just how the cycle of business cycle goes. So from this trial level, it will still go back to the first stage of the business cycle, which is the expansion stage, and still go back to the peak stage, to the contraction stage, and back to the trial stage. So the cycle keeps going, and that's how the business cycle works. So recession. The recession is actually a specific sort of vicious circle with cascading decline in output, employment, income, and sales that feed back into a further drop in output, spreading rapidly from industry to industry and region to region. This domino effect is key to the diffusion of recessionary weakness across the economy, driving the co-movement among these coincident economic indicators and persistence of the recession. So with this business cycle, most of the times at the trial level, recession is bound to take place, and with this recession, they will have to pick up themselves back, and then the recovery. On the flip side, a business cycle recovery begins when the recessionary vicious cycle reverses and becomes a virtuous cycle, with rising output triggering job gains, rising incomes, and increasing sales that feed back into a further rise in output. The recovery can persist and result in sustained economic expansion only if it becomes self-feeding, which is ensured by the domino effect, driving the diffusion of the revival across the economy. So with this business cycle, the recession will come, and then they'll still recover back and go back into recession and recover back. So it's just a continuous vicious cycle that happens in the business cycle. Thank you very much.